Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. Today is something that has been very requested recently, like for a long time, whilst I've been including food segments and cooking segments into my weekly vlogs. I've had so many messages saying, can you share the recipe? Where did you get this from? Can you share some meal ideas for when you're trying to be healthy? Can you share some snack ideas when you're trying to be healthier? That kind of thing. And I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna put a few of my favorites into one video. So before this begins, I'd absolutely love it if you could go down below and subscribe. As I've mentioned so many times, it really helps me out, and over 50% of you are not subscribed, which always blows my mind. I also just want to say that this is by no means the healthiest version of this video you will ever watch, nor is it the cheapest or the quickest, but these are just things that generally I find healthier, fairly cheap and easy to do. Like if I can do it, you can also do it, and that is what I mean when I say this is by no means like proper cooking. I'm not doing absolutely everything from scratch, and I feel like I don't have to explain myself because personally for me, I love these meals and they fit into my lifestyle really well. But I just wanted to show you guys some of my absolute favorite healthier, quicker and easier recipes that I have been eating a lot of during the lockdown. I have 2 evening meal options, 1 breakfast or brunch and 1 lunchtime option. So without further ado, we're just gonna get straight into it because I feel like I really did witter on quite a lot in this video. Let's go. For some reason, I think when I started filming this, I thought I was going to do it all as a voiceover, but then I spoke over the rest of the clips, so there's just these clips with no audio. But basically, corn, pepper, spinach, add it in a pan, get yourself going. Green beans, we've got some mixed pepper salad as well here, and then the egg noodles. Everything is chopped up and in the pan, so in here while it's cooking we've got corn chicken pieces, 1 whole bag, spinach, onion, a little bit of lettuce, pepper, other coloured peppers, long green beans and garlic powder, and I think that's it that's in here so far. And then in about 3 minutes I'm gonna add the noodles and then the sauce, and that is literally it. That's why I love a stir fry, because like how easy is this? Okay, so in go the noodles, just whack them in. Ooh. Mixing it all together and getting the noodles to mix with the like toppings and everything in them is the hardest bit, because you have to kind of like scoop from underneath. Try not to flick it out the pan, it's easier when you're not holding a camera. But yeah, as you can see, it's like it's getting there, it looks good. So the sauce is going to go on in around about 1 minute, and the sauce I've gone for is sweet and sour, but obviously you can pick your favourite. Just make sure you get it all in. Probably do with a bit more sauce, to be honest, than what we've got here, but never mind. And then you're going to mix it all together, and here it is plated up. So as you can see, a solid amount of corn, noodles, some veg, and you can put other stuff with this if you wanted. You could maybe put like pizza bread if you really wanted to, or more vegetables, like a side veg thing. It's completely up to you, but this actually did serve 4 of a fairly decent size, considering that actually the noodles were the wrong size. But yeah, this is my go-to stir fry. Hello from a makeup plus Molly this morning, because today I'm having a day just full of admin and emails and getting stuff done. But I wanted to show you one of my go-to lunches. I started having this over the lockdown after I saw it a lot on TikTok, and that is a pizza wrap. And if you haven't heard of it, I'm about to revolutionize your lunchtime, because this is like the beauty of having a pizza but a healthier and way quicker version that I've been having for lunch on days when I want something semi-healthy. Like, it's definitely not a healthy lunch, it's not a salad, but also it's not a lot of calories. It's just easy to make and it's quick and it's small. So if you're like me and lunch is kind of like you're in the middle of the day meal where you're not as hungry as you are at breakfast or dinner, then this is perfect. But if you love a big lunch, you could easily make 2 or 3 of these. So the first thing that you want is your plain tortilla. You can have any. This is just like a wholemeal, very average one. And some tomato puree. This is what you're going to use as your base. But I just squirt a little bit of this on and kind of spread it around with a spoon. So you just want a little dollop, not loads, just enough so that it'll spread as the base. I find it easiest to spread just with the back of a spoon. Now that might not be enough. You might want a bit more. Obviously it does depend on how tomatoey you like your base, till it looks pretty much like that. It's not a lot, you don't want to cake it, but just enough so that you can definitely taste the tomato. Now of course the beauty of this lunch is that you can use any topping you want. I'm going to grate cheese on this. If you don't like cheese on pizza, what's wrong with you? But also you can obviously change it. Again, I don't fully cover it in cheese. I'm still trying to make it a somewhat healthy lunch, but you just can't have pizza without cheese, you know. That's probably about enough. That does look quite a lot actually. Shock horror, I now have my corn alternative, but these are corn ham slices. I really like these. They're also vegan, and I'm going to be popping little bits of one of these broken up with pineapple, because ham and pineapple is my favourite pizza topping. Do not come for me in the comments, we have it every time. You got one of these bad boys and you just kind of rip it up however you want, just how you would have ham on a pizza really. And then you want to add the pineapple. So I have pineapple chunks already broken up in here from earlier in the week when I've been eating them. And there you go, you have a Hawaiian pizza, but a healthy, light, quick version. So then you're gonna wanna whack your grill on. So that's my grill setting, and that's the grill setting. And it honestly takes about 3 minutes. I just do it as a rough guide. When I can see the cheese melting and it's like fully melted, starting to brown, I'll bring it out. Now, just because I'm weird and eat pretty much every food with cucumber, I am gonna slice up a fair amount of this to eat with the wrap, the pizza, whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't put it on top because I don't really know what would happen if you grilled cucumber, but just as a little side salad without any other salad, just the cucumber. Cucumber, the best side. So as I said, it's been around 3 minutes and I don't know if you can see the cheese is starting to melt, so I'm gonna give it literally like 30 seconds more and then I'm gonna take it out.
Moments later.
And there we have it. I think that looks pretty good. I've just added a tiny bit of mozzarella sprinklings to the top to go on top of the cheddar because there were some areas where I'd missed with the cheese. And what I tend to do now is fold it over like a calzone and cut it in half. So here it is, my finished lunch. Pizza that's not pizza. And guys, as a little treat, because I did just go to the corner shop, I picked up my favourite drink. This is the Rubicons Strawberry and Kiwi Sparkling Water, and it's like having a fizzy drink without there being any sugar in it or anything like bad for you in it, and I just genuinely love it. So I'm gonna pair this with my lunch and go and enjoy it now. But I really recommend trying that if you haven't had it for your lunch. It's very easy. I've not made up some kind of revolutionary recipe, I'm just saying it's one of my favourites at the moment. Okay, so this has been a firm favourite over the last couple of months, and something that I actually trialled cooking just myself, and then my whole family actually ended up liking it, and that is chicken teriyaki with rice. So this is quite similar to a stir fry, to be honest. I use corn chicken, and you could put it with noodles if you wanted to, but I feel as though that is a pretty staple meal choice. Like chicken and rice or veggie chicken and rice is pretty good because you can season it and, like, I don't know, put different sauces with it, and there's lots of different options whilst also always having a somewhat healthy and nutritional tea. And also it's great if you're like me and you're a bit lazy and you want something fast, or if you're a student, because everything is pretty affordable and you can kind of throw in whatever you want or whatever you have left over. So this evening we're going for a chicken teriyaki, and the only real thing that sets this aside to a stir fry is the sauce being different. And I actually do make my own teriyaki sauce from scratch. So the other day with the stir fry, you saw me just pour in a sweet and sour sauce. Of course you can make that from scratch too, but it's just easier sometimes to not. Obviously I hold my hands up and say I'm not a chef and I like a quick and easy option, but when it comes to teriyaki sauce, I actually prefer to just make my own. So that is where we're gonna start. So this here is pretty much everything you need for this one. The corn chicken makes up the base, obviously, and then to make the sauce you need water, soy sauce, which is the majority of the flavouring, to be honest, corn flour to get the sauce to thicken, and then you can either use crushed garlic or I use this garlic powder, and then again you can use actual ginger, but I use ginger like ground just to season the sauce, because every time I do this I don't want to have to buy like a whole fresh ginger, and these are just easier to keep. I also add a tiny bit of chili powder, and then to add to the chicken while it's cooking, I obviously add a little bit of garlic and salt and pepper, but I also cut up a pepper, an onion, some green beans, but you can literally put any vegetables in this if you want. You can just throw it all in, like everything is good in a teriyaki. And then we really like pine nuts. Again, you don't have to add nuts, literally anything goes, guys. So we're going to start off by making the sauce. So the first thing is 300 ml of water in the Pyrex jug, and that's that. Turn the pan on, and then we just add the water straight in there. And then whilst that water's boiling, 70 ml of soy sauce straight into it as well. It does go through quite a lot of soy sauce quite quickly, making a teriyaki sauce. Then you just want to mix together 1 tablespoon of corn flour to act as a thickening agent. So make sure that's all fully dissolved. And when it is, you just add that to the bubbling broth. And that thickens it up to a thicker sauce. You want to add in quite a lot of garlic and a lot of ginger and a tiny little bit of chili powder, but I just add this so it has a tiny bit more of a kick, and leave it to cook for about 10 minutes. I've also just added 1 squeeze of honey to that, because you can add sugar, but personally for me I just don't really see the point in adding a load of sugar to a sauce when it doesn't really need sugar to flavour it. So I added a spoonful of honey, like a big squeeze, and that's as far as I go in terms of sweetener. Obviously you can add sugar if you want. get your wok out. The biggest pan you can find for this so that you can throw in the maximum amount of stuff. This is my wok, my trusty companion. We used to have a wok. We lost the wok, and if you follow my weekly vlogs, you'll have seen the palaver this caused when we got it, but it's been a saviour. Honestly, it has. So we're going to start cooking the chicken, or the corn. We are doing this with veggie chicken. As I said, when we're in the house, we're trying to reduce the amount of meat that we eat. None of us are fully vegetarian, but we buy a lot of corn and meat replacements. So we're doing that with this, but of course you could use regular chicken. Make sure you cook it properly. Grease your pan. This is our pan grease of choice. You can use oil if you like, but we just prefer to use this spray. This is what the chopping board currently looks like, and I'm going to dice up the green beans as well and do them quite fine. So you just want a whole pan full, and this corn came out of the fridge, not the freezer, so it only takes 9 minutes from this point, which is amazing. It's such a quick meal to cook, guys. So I'm going to add the chopping board of veg. Obviously you can just substitute this for your favourite, but this is stuff that I know all my family will eat. In it goes. So we do just use microwave rice. Obviously you can buy actual rice if you don't want to do it in the microwave. This is again just us being like as quick and as easy as possible really, and this is really good rice. So we use whole grain, especially when it comes to a teriyaki, rather than like long grain or plain rice or anything, but again you can just pick your own preference, but I really like this rice. And then the chicken has about 3 minutes left of cooking, so I'm gonna add the sauce to this pan now so that it can kind of like, you know, marinade, if that's the right word. Right, so here we go. I'm just gonna pour it in slowly so that it doesn't like splash back. And there you go, that's just like the perfect amount really. If for whatever reason there's not enough teriyaki sauce, you could always just add a little bit more water to it to make it go a bit further, but I think that's the perfect amount because it is meant to be a little bit runny so that it can kind of flavour the rice as well. And then that just needs another probably about 4 minutes, 3 minutes of cooking time. And when it comes to serving it up, I just do like 3/4 of a bag of rice. Don't know what that is. So then when it comes to serving it, I just use one of these. I think it's like a ladle, but it's actually for potatoes or something, but it works. I just kind of try and serve it up as evenly as possible. Kind of just like... And now you pretty much have it. You can add more pine nuts if you want to add more pine nuts, but this is my go-to chicken teriyaki, and I know it's cheating a little bit, but I did make the sauce from scratch this time, so that's something. And here is the finished meal. It looks similar to a curry slash stir fry kind of vibe, and it doesn't look a million miles away from the noodles, but I really like it and it does taste completely different, so I really recommend trying this if you've never had a chicken teriyaki, which I assume most of you have, but I'm quite new to it. So as a little dessert, just a light little after something, we're really enjoying having these at the moment. This is the first time I've tried their strawberry and vanilla one. I really rate their chocolate one, but Goo, if you're watching this, big fan, especially of this flavour. I just tried it for the first time and it tastes like a cheesecake low-key, which is amazing. Oh, turns out it is cheesecake flavoured, that's why it tastes like a cheesecake. So yeah, at least they're accurate.
The next day.
Good morning from another makeupless Molly. Apologies about that, but I just frankly can't be bothered on the days I'm not leaving the house. This morning I actually got up and did a workout and got straight on with some work, which I never usually do. My first thing is usually always breakfast. So it's actually near lunchtime, so I'm going to be making one of my favourite healthy brunch recipes, and I say healthy very loosely. It's not that healthy, but it is quite a nice filling option that also feels like a bit of a treat. And that is blueberry pancakes with just 3 ingredients, and then blueberries, so that's actually 4 ingredients. You can change this up for whatever fruit, I guess, if you want, but I'm going to use blueberries because I feel like they go nicely in breakfast food and I really like them. I do also do this with banana very often, but I don't have any bananas currently, so blueberries it is. The recipe for this one is so straightforward, but it is also American, so the measurements are in like cups, which I don't really understand, but I'm just going to go off this size mug as the measurements because how wrong can you really go? The worst thing that's going to happen is I'm going to end up with too much mixture. So that is 1 cup of self-raising flour, and then 1 cup of milk and 2 eggs, and you just mix it together. Okay, so the recipe I'm following, it's 2 eggs if you want to make a serving for 4 people, but I'm just doing it for me and my mum, so that's 2 people, so I'm just going to use 1 egg. And then you want 1 cupful of milk. I'm going for coconut milk. You can use regular milk or oat milk, whatever you want to use. And then you've got to give it a really good mix to get the lumps out. Now, you want to make sure your pan is completely up to heat and also very much non-stick, because the worst thing is when they stick and you can't flip them over. So when it's up to heat, you just want to pour the mixture in. You don't want too much, like a medium-sized pancake. And then once it looks like this, I'm gonna add the blueberries to it. I didn't add it to the mixture because they would have probably all sank. So it now looks like this. I haven't put loads of blueberries in because we are actually running out, but I'm using frozen blueberries out of this packet here. Am I gonna be able to flip it? This is the challenge. I've got my little spatula to help. As I said, it's really important that they don't stick, but also that you don't flip it too early and that it like falls apart. It's usually a good sign if it's moving around the pan like that. Chef Molly, look at that. You can do it. Yeah, perfect. Oh, these look good. Obviously, again, you can add other berries, you can add more, you can add less. It's totally up to you. It's just to get like the sweet flavouring because there's no sugar in it. Look at that now. That's what I'm talking about. I look like I've just murdered somebody. Now, there you have a perfectly finished stack of 4 blueberry pancakes, healthy-ish. I'm going to share these with my mum. So the mixture that I showed you made 4, fairly decent sized, but I'm going to be eating 2 and my mum's going to be eating 2, and that is like my favourite treat breakfast or brunch because it's easy to do. It took me 10 minutes and yeah, they're just really, really nice. So I'm going to be topping mine with a tiny bit, literally because there's barely any left, of squeezy honey. Obviously, you can top them with anything you'd like. This is just like a sweetener really, and I really like honey. I know it's a bit hit and miss, but yeah, I'm going to top it with this. This just looks so nice. So that's that. We're back in the office. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments which your favourite meal would be or which one you want to try first if you're going to replicate any of these at home. As I said at the beginning, this is by no means like super from scratch or super healthy or any of that. It's just stuff that I've enjoyed trying out and trying to eat a little bit better with meals like this over the lockdown and over the last couple of months. So subscribe if you're new to my channel. As I mentioned at the beginning, as always, that really helps me out. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and I shall be back on Saturday or with a weekly vlog. Bye guys!